Hello! I think I got all my friggin' lights on here. Oh, missing one. What up, Plurp? You know, one of the greatest things that man has ever accomplished, Plurp. Fat-free Greek yogurt. That's gotta be one of the most goated fucking things humans have ever managed to find out how to make. It's just gotta be. I don't know what else can be any better. Unless you're lactose intolerant, that's a problem. I'm lactose intolerant, but Greek yogurt doesn't hit me as hard as regular yogurt. But the probiotics, the protein percentage versus fat, unreal. Like, I mean, you got like this, and then egg whites, and that's the show. Shit's crazy. Also, it's friggin' delicious. And cooking with it is amazing. It's goated. This is a lot of food, though. I don't know if this is getting wild. Mmm. Delicious. Oh my god. Holy cow, it's an early start and the Plurp's the only one in chat. I'm surprised. Normally we have a few of the Europeans up this early. That's alright. I have made an entire career talking to myself. I can do it. I'm a professional. It's what I do. I will say that there is a very weird... Dylan Brooks is such a fucking worthless basketball player. I don't know what it is about the NBA right now, but everyone is either trying to be a WWE superstar or a UFC fighter. Like, so on like one side you got a bunch of dudes trying to give press conferences like they're setting up a title run for the US, you know, the US title or the Intercontinental or the fucking, God forbid, World Heavyweight Championship belt. And then on the other side of things you got people trying to be actual UFC fighters out here just swinging at people constantly. I watched a game the other night, and I've never seen so many people try to kick or punch other people in the dick since junior high. I swear to God, everyone on the NBA courts running around in the last couple of weeks doing the classic, hey, what's the capital of Thailand? I just opened my phone, take a little peek at the timeline there, and the first thing that I see is Dylan Brooks, who is the most mid-fucking basketball player of all time. But talks lots of trash because it's the only way that he could ever be relevant for the time that he's in the league before he leaves and then nobody ever talks about him ever again. Got ejected from the game for punching LeBron James in the dick. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Yeah, the league is fucking weird right now. Simultaneously, you know, full of some very, very talented people, but also just fucking weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of the culture around the sport from the top down being, you know, trying to chase after all these eyeballs and shit. But like, it's a bit of a fucking clown show. What up, Link? Good morning. How you doing today, Link? Oh my god. I'm just so happy Dylan Brooks is just getting fucking memed. He's such a shit fucking... She's such a shit basketball player. Just talks so much. There's nothing worse than a basketball player that talks trash. That is trash. Like, trash talk is great if you can even remotely back it up. Otherwise, it doesn't accomplish anything but make you look like a clown. Aching from yesterday's bike climb. So what was your distance? What was your run yesterday then? Shaking off the rust, 27K, 225 meter climbs, and 400 meter total climb. That's a hefty hill. So now was that mostly so 125, so over half of it was in relatively steep blocks, and then there was a bunch of it that was kind of a gradual uphill. Excuse me, nearly half a kilometer of elevation is, that's a steep climb. So are you prepping for any bike events, or is this just something that you're doing recreationally for exercise? 2 laps of climbing Mount Royal in Montreal. There were a lot of groups going up one side and down the other. 12% gradient. That's a... 12%'s a fucking... That's a pretty reasonable go. Do they have, like, devices you can strap to your bike so that you can keep track of stats like that? Like, how much was your gradients and shit in both directions, up and down? Because it would just need, like, a gyro. As long as it was mounted level to begin with. And kept level. Hundred and 160K is a big bike ride, fuck me. Even at like a reasonable maintained pace, that's... You know, that's like a fucking 5 or 6 hour bike ride. I installed the Garmin. Oh yeah, Garmin's great. They're not as good as they used to be, until you spend a shitload of money, but Garmin's really good. Train the last 30? Yeah, the, well, like anything, you know, the way to do it is incremental, so just tack on 1% each time. Oh, it's kind of redundant to be like, alright, well today I'm going to do 500 more meters than before. I mean, you could tackle it that way, and then it would be 60 rides in order to train it up, but that's probably not at a speed for that distance that makes any sense, so you'd almost have to do like an extra kilometer or 2 kilometers at a time. Have you thought about, or do you maybe already have, one of those, since you already have all the equipment for doing proper biking outside, have you considered getting one of those, they're expensive, but I can't remember the brand name, but it's, you can turn your bike into a stationary at home and hook it up to, like, online races and all that shit so you can train through the winter? Yeah, so suppose that's true, you could just, try and maintain a faster pace on the same route to attempt to accomplish a, you know, endurance for longer runs, that's true. That is true. What up, Kalutzi? Here I was thinking I could chill today and catch up on VODs. You're not allowed. That's illegal. Oh, Kalutzi knows where we are. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I got there. Oh, yes. I one-shotted the boss that people decided was going to be hard to beat in order to get it. But you can't... The dynamic duo, unstoppable. Oh, dude, I took one step outside this door last night to take a look around and I went, oh, this is gonna be a fucking shit show. Absolute 5-alarm fire. Top to bottom. No doubt in my mind. I did consider those during the pandemic indoor cycling. They make either rollers you ride on stations or replace your rear wheel. Yeah, the rear wheel one was one I was talking about. I've seen a few people that do the online racing and stuff using their summertime bike for those, and to great effect, and they're wonderful. I'm not much of a biker. My nerves up in my groin and stuff would not like sitting on a bike seat for that long anymore. I'd have to be constantly in like a sprint position. And they're super expensive, especially to make it sizable for me, but I thought that's super cool, man. For anyone that likes biking, what a phenomenal way to just constantly have access, not only to something that allows you to maintain through the winter in places where it's, you know, you can't bike all the time, but being able to have that online functionality, you know, the shared experience with other people trying to stay healthy and pushing each other, you know, in races and stuff. That's a powerful tool. And one that I don't know if I've seen, I mean, it has to exist, but I don't know if I've seen it for treadmills, for running, which you would think. But it might be harder to track on a treadmill because the treadmill moves automatically at speed, and it would be very difficult to tell if somebody was actually running on it without using some sort of pressure system. That would probably get too expensive too quick. I'd rather toss a sweaty fat man's salad than play this area. Well, you know, hey. We're gonna try and have the cinema be ours, huh? My groin doesn't mind. My bike was fitted when I bought it, and I wear a pad. Oh yeah. No, it's not so much that, like the padding. It's just the nature of what I've got going on. It's a vascular thing and a vascular nerve thing. The padding and stuff. It would help to be fitted and have padding and stuff, but it would just. I would have to be mindful of how long I was doing it at any given time. I wouldn't be going on a 160-kilometer bike ride. I can tell you that much. Excuse me. Yeah, oh, I'm sure they could figure out a way of doing the treadmill. It would just be more challenging to be accurate with it versus, stationary bike. The stationary bike is either the pedals are moving or they're not, and they're moving at X speed with X tension. Or X speed with Y tension, and that's very, very straightforward. The treadmill is, you gotta get a little fancier. Get a little fancier with it. That shit's fine. Good morning, Stem. Hey, what up, Bacon? I was staying up since my day off, finished watching a VOD when you beat Radon. Well, go to bed! If you're all the way back at Radon, holy shit. You got a lot of catching up to do. Radon got clapped, though. I'm kinda salty, I almost one-cycled him. I was just that close. So one of the more famous Twitter accounts, Drill, who's been around for fucking, like, my god, this guy's been around since basically it began in like 2008. Doesn't want the checkmark in its current form, and Elon, as we were discussing yesterday, always reverses everything that he's doing. So, he started giving away checkmarks for free for people with 1 million followers, I guess, eventually. After first selectively giving certain people check marks. And so, but there was a loophole. Drill didn't want it, so there's a loophole. When you change your name, it removes the check mark. And so he's been, every time they give him the check mark, he changes his name. And they keep going back and forth. The platform keeps giving him a check mark, and Drill fucking changes his name, and then they give him another check mark, and he changes his name again. What a fucking absolute legend. It keeps going back and forth. Oh my. Twitter's been phenomenal just watching this whole checkmark fucking 5-alarm fire. Everyone just going back and forth. Wait, was that his first ever tweet? In September of 2008, Drill's first tweet was just, no. That's the whole last tweet. Can Twitter be banned from public conversation? It's such a great source of entertainment right now. It really is. Like, once you've just checked out of the whole fucking thing and you're there, like, I'm using the platform daily to keep up with, like, my news and my sports and stuff like that. You know, stay in my own lane. But then all you do is you just dip in. You just dip into a little bit of the crazy side. You just take a little venture over. Like you put the stool, you put the step ladder, you put your head above the fence that you've built around your own little slice of the cesspool, and you take a look around, and it's just a bunch of like shit on fire, naked, greased up people screaming in random languages that don't exist, fucking just throwing shit at one another, just feces all over the place. It's I tell you what, it's just, dumpster on fire floating down river, that was diverted by a bunch of other natives of the area that were losing their shit and decided to just flood the entire area. It's just like it's just a mess, and it's entertainment. But when you selectively put yourself above that fence to look over, and then you step back down, and you got the fence there, and you can kind of, if you listen carefully, you can still kind of hear the debauchery happening on the other side. But then you can just kind of like go back to your own little circle that you've created, and it's all okay. It's such a show. Reclay, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. I don't suppose you also just followed me on YouTube. That shit was just, both of those come in within 60 seconds of one another. Shit's crazy. Coincidental. Funny. I unfortunately have to view Twitter at times for work. It's a mindset, man. Sometimes it's hard not to get upset looking at it. Just like if you go to Reddit or something, you have to be careful which subreddits you go to and shit. No matter where you go, you're still gonna see some dumb nonsense. But it's really a mindset. You just gotta know at this point that it's a complete clown show. An absolute fiesta. And so you just go over there and you just have to just watch it. Because the reality is, like, Twitter is, like it's not real life. It is to a degree. Like, I think everyone has always known to an extent that there is, a certain percent of people that are you know, that are a little bit out to lunch. And that's fine. It's just that, like, in normal day-to-day life, it's easier, I guess, to forget that fact depending on, you know, who you choose to, and sometimes, unfortunately, don't get a chance to choose to spend time with. But, like, you go online, and it's just a way that you can see more of them all at once. And so it can get a little bit daunting. You know, you're just looking at it, you're going, man, fuck. But you know what? The other thing to keep in mind is, there's some of those same people looking back at, like, somebody like me saying this right now, going, oh, well, you're the crazy one. And so it's just, everyone's just, it's a clown show. It's a clown show. Just an unadulterated dumpster fire. Oh my goodness gracious. Some of it's pretty good though. Once in a while, you know, you see some, it can be depressing, and then you look at it and it just hits you funny. Like the thing I just tweeted before I went live, the thing that struck me funny today was, you know, the fact that, you know, Elon is such an open book, whether he wants to be or not. So like the pandering to the meme crowd that he's been trying to do ever since Grimes dumpstered him has been almost sad to watch. But the fact that he did the checkmark takeaway on 420 was glorious, and very obvious. And so he does that, and the whole platform is just absolutely shitting itself, and almost immediately within the first 2 hours, high-profile people are being impersonated at a rate that evidently Twitter was unable to keep up with for moderation purposes, because, you know, the whole idea was the traditional verification mark wasn't necessary because their moderation team would solve all the problems of impersonation, etc., etc. That failed in the first, like, 90 minutes, so the whole thing was just evolving. So Elon just decides to start randomly giving check marks back out to certain high-profile accounts. I think the first 3 were, Stephen King, LeBron James, and one other account. I think a scientist, but I can't remember now who the third person was. So, excuse me. So he starts giving out these random accounts check marks again. And the irony is that none of these accounts more or less wanted the check mark, because they don't want it in its current form. Because a lot of them don't like what the checkmark is being utilized for, and that it takes away, it still diminishes the utility of the checkmark originally. Not to say that the original checkmark didn't have the ability to be abused, but it seems to be even more easily abused now. So a lot of them were just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want it. But they got it anyway, and a lot of them were confused. They're like, why do I have a check mark? And now they're trying to explain to people, like, look, I actually didn't pay for this shit, even though when you click on the thing it says paid for Twitter Blue. Then it turns out, Elon comes out and says, I've been paying for a couple of them. And everyone was like, what? You're just randomly paying for some fucking accounts on it? Anyway, late yesterday or whatever, Stephen King, of course, after discovering this is the case, is not really wanting to have this checkmark. Big shocker, Stephen King, not the biggest fan of a lot of him, of what Elon's been doing to the platform. If you spend any time on Twitter and have seen it, just didn't want it. So his suggestion was, don't want the checkmark, why don't you just donate that $8 to, and then he listed a charity that was for supporting Ukraine. Didn't say anything else, really. Just was like, I don't really want, just, you know, just it'd be better off if this money that you spent on providing me this checkmark went somewhere else. And Elon decides to take it so personally. And so his response, and I can't even make this shit up, his response to, I don't want the checkmark, please just donate the $8 somewhere else, to this fund if you want, and spend a bit more or give a little bit more there, Elon goes, in the biggest fucking, like, show of bruised ego, I've donated $100 million to the Ukraine. How much have you donated? So fucking butthurt. Steven didn't mention anything about, oh, you haven't, why don't you just, do the, like, Steven hasn't brought any of that shit in. Just the absolute smallest dick energy imaginable, immediately takes it as a personal attack, because he was the one, obviously, that was providing the check mark. And so it's a personal attack. He can't even give it away for free. Like, there are people that won't even take the check mark for free, and he's obviously a little bit upset about this situation, and so when he reads Steven's reply or Steven's comment, he immediately thinks that he's like Steven's making a commentary on Elon, apparently not donating enough money in general, instead of just suggesting to divert the $8 somewhere else because he doesn't want the check mark. And so Elon just comes in, I've donated $100 million to the Ukraine, what have you done? And you're like, who asked you? Nobody asked, bro. Nobody was even, nobody's talking about how much you've get. What are you talking about? Yes, so eventually what happened was it started with him giving some check marks away at random, it appeared. Very high profile accounts, or just high profile accounts that, I don't know, crossed his mind while he was taking a shit. Whatever the fuck whatever system he was using at the time. And then eventually he was like, okay, well fuck it, I guess it will be everyone that has north of 1 million subscribers. It would not shock me if that gets reduced to like 250,000. Or 500,000. Because there are tons of celebrities that are relatively high profile that fit that. So we're really just, it's the classic, it's once again, it's the system that was there for a reason, and Elon is now reinventing it, in quotation marks. And we're just kind of like slowly reverting to more or less what already existed. Spectacular. Just spectacular. What up, Zig? Alright, I'm gonna go and wash this out, put it in the dishwasher. And then we're getting to it. Time to go die a few million times. Oh, the insulin manufacturer. Oh yeah, well they did a who was it? what drug company got briefly impersonated or whatever on Twitter, and then it fucked the whole stock friggin' yo-yoed or fucking tanked out, dropped out the bottom. There was a whole thing about that. I can't remember what that was anymore. So much shit has happened on on Twitter since Elon's acquisition. It's been a very rocky road. Bumping around all over the place. What up, Pastor? I've had more streams at this hour than not in the last month or so, so it shouldn't be too surprising at this point. I'm mostly done stuff around the house. You know, the stuff I have to do in a day is lesser around the house. Unless I'm like cooking dinner or some other thing like that. And so I take M to work at 6:30 in the morning, and then I'm home. Now, it won't stay that way forever. I'll be, there will be other stuff that will be happening. I'll be, eventually, we'll have the exercise room back there. I'll be working out before I stream, and then also probably studying before streaming and things of that nature, but for now, you get me super early. These really early streams are kind of not serving very many people anyway. I would say probably for me the best time to start is around 11 o'clock earliest. My time seems to be a good show, but workout streams? I don't know about that. The thing about doing workout streams is, it tends to make the workouts longer than they need to be, and not in a productive way. Too many distractions. Heading out for brunch? 8 a.m. is not brunch, bro. Brunch is breakfast and lunch. So unless you don't plan on eating lunch later because you're eating at 8 o'clock, that's just breakfast, bro. Brunch is like 11 o'clock, 11:30, maybe even afternoon, like a 12:30, like that's because you didn't eat breakfast. That's a brunch. Brunch at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's just breakfast. We still haven't gotten an inflatable banana stream. The DDP yoga stream? Yeah, those were easier because I had to follow the, I was following along. There was less distractions. My workouts aren't going to be very exciting anyway, because they're going to be predominantly rehabilitory for quite some time. Ah, I see, like banana hammock yoga. Are we trying to are we trying to get me permanently banned and discover if I have any shame remaining in my body? Alright, consecrated snowfield with left channel audio only. I know, I'm ready. You know, everyone's favorite location in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was out in the desert where you had to follow the flags from a distance, otherwise you would just get lost and start all over again. And that's immediately giving me these vibes right here. The Todd, the banana hammock fiend, or friend. No, I don't. I gotta be honest. I've only ever seen probably about 30 episodes of Scrubs in my life. It was never on when I was watching, at the times in which I was watching TV. It's a phenomenal show. But no, sadly. I am not following you there. Oh, I would not argue that Scrubs is in the pantheon. Oh, hey. Normally you'd point at something useful. Pretty sure I hear a giant or a troll. Alright, so I think my strategy for now is I'm gonna mostly hug the left-hand side. See if I spot anywhere to drop down. Oh, I'm seeing a place of ass. Binging, old technical alpha. Oh my god. Well. How's that been going? How's that been going? Alright, we're going back this way. Oh, fuck me. Oh, multiple. Nah, I ain't about that life. Sorry. I'm not about to fight 2 man-bear pigs. That's just not happening. We're not spending any more time fighting anything here than we absolutely need to. We can't see shit. They've clearly got some very large enemies all over the place. What the fuck? There is shit just hiding around every corner. This whole zone is just a whole lot of nope, so we're just gonna... Oh, hi! That's a summoned fucking giant? Yeah. And the ball thing! Lovely stuff. So this whole zone was just like the, okay guys, so we need one zone in the game that isn't like readily discoverable, where we just put every enemy in the game in one spot, but make it so that you can't actually see anything. Chill. Oh, summon zone. Oh, that's a good sign. I'm sure he doesn't do any fucking damage. At all. How you doing, Major Baby? Oh, good. Madness rats. Would not let me target that rat. Okay. I would like to not have any madness rats around when we start fighting the big boy. Ideally. Not a great camera angle. A madness troll. How about no? Please. Oh, evidently that might not have even been the real fucking magic. There's more fucking rats here. Oh yeah, we got all sorts of fuckery here. Oh, it's one of those ones. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's bad. Alright, Pastor! Have a good time at work. Okay. There's still more here. Because our boy is still here. Oh yeah, we're balls deep. At the moment. Oh my god, they're fucking everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. My god. Do not fall. I don't know what's down there. Yeah, I've been enjoying it for the most part. You know, there are, I mean, I'm like 130 hours in. There are bits and pieces like many Souls games that that aren't the greatest. And some of those are getting more tedious as time goes on. Because we're like 7 games deep in what would be considered a franchise, and but it is certainly I would say, representative of the best single step in a direction that the franchise has had, outside of Bloodborne, maybe. Bloodborne was pretty representative of getting a lot of stuff right that the ones before. That was a pretty big leap. These madness rats, man. They're the real end game. Fucking boss. You go right ahead. I have faith in you. Okay, so 2 of those guys at the same time is perhaps not a good idea. We can kill one fast enough that it doesn't become a problem, but by the time we kill one, the other one is probably going to be vomiting madness all over us, and that's going to be a bad time. Where am I on the map? North. The secret butthole north. Oh, see, this guy's still here too. A little Sparta to cure the madness? Not yet, no. Where in the fuck is my mimic? Is this guy starting fucking... Is he cashing checks we can't... Oh no, he's fine. Go get him, champ. There's no real reason to fight those two, which is why I'm not running out to do it. They don't even give... It's not like... Well, not like we need runes anyway, but, you know... They don't hand over very many. It's rare for one of these runes to not have a... As Fox would like to say, secret tunnel. no name. Interesting. Makes me wonder. You can do it. See? Well. Do you plan on fighting the super boss once you're done with the story or once? Well, given I didn't know about a super boss, that was a stupid question to ask, although I could have assumed that there was some sort of super boss. I know in the zone that we're in currently, this is an optional, a very, very, very optional area. And so, I will see and explore as much as I can up here. Like usual, I will simply play the game as I would normally. Unendurable frenzy. Is that a talisman? Or a key item? Or is it something else? Is it a seal? I should have looked at the fucking thing when it popped up to tell me what kind of item it was. Frenchie. True. Is it a reusable? No? Is it a spell? Or an incantation? Ah, an incantation. Emits violent burst of yellow flame of frenzy from the eyes. Ah, yes, we're going full-blown Cyclops from X-Men. Only 31 faith required. We're so close. Yeah, never has "Oh ye have little faith" been so accurate. Oh my lord. My fucking... the back of my head is unbelievably itchy. It's gotta be dry as fuck. It's driving me crazy. She drives me crazy. The hair and skin lottery were not genetic things that I fucking won, I can tell you that much. My skin is just never fucking happy. I guess the only reason my Mimic is still here is because one, we're in the area, and two, those other two trolls are still alive. Because normally once you've cleared the area, whether you're in the zone or not, the Mimic disappears. Unless there's some other fucking major enemy that I have yet to come across. But I'm pretty sure it's just those two. Pretty sure. But you never know. Uh-oh, we're outside the zone. Whoop. Almost lost him. Moisturize. Oh, I moisturize. I drink lots of water, I moisturize, I take an omega-3 pill to help with my, my healthy oils. All of those things help, don't get me wrong. Like, if I stop doing any one of those things, I have to use Nizoral for my scalp a couple, you know, once or twice a week. And that stuff is great at doing its job, but it also is great at sucking every last ounce of moisture out of your scalp, and so when I get into the shower, I got some coconut oil. Smell like a fucking cheap prostitute for an hour after I shower. As someone who hasn't played any Souls games, how does one know if they have cleared a zone? Is it one of those things where you have to get a feel for it? Oh, in terms of you've done everything here? Well, this game is more unique in that regard than other Souls games in terms of its like scope and the fact that it's a much more open game. Like the other Dark Souls games and stuff are far more linear in nature. There is still some variability in the ways in which you can tackle things in the older games, but it's not this. You're not even close. So you know, in the older games, completing an area was relatively straightforward because you'd get to a spot, there'd be a boss at the end of it, more or less, or a mini-boss, and then a bigger boss, and then you were on, and so on and so forth. And maybe the thing was, oh, maybe you missed an optional boss in an area, or maybe you didn't get the item, some item or two that they had hiding around somewhere. With this one, there's like 200 fucking bosses of varying descriptions littered all over the fucking place, and a million different places, and you can go to almost any one of them right from the get-go in the beginning of the game, and so it can be a little bit easier to miss stuff, but there's still a pattern to it. If you're in a named area, and there's certain area types, you start to notice that they have a pattern of design behavior. So, like the rune I was just in here, where I was describing, normally, you know, they have an underground segment with an item or something similar in it. If it's a ruin like this, and I hadn't seen it yet, and I was confused, and then I found it, and there you have it. Alright? So things like that start to stand out. But you can still totally just miss shit. Is very much possible. Yeah, no, like, at no point were you getting, like, a straight-up, like, area cleared. kind of a situation. Another thing that can sometimes make it, you know, difficult to find things is that some of the areas or items or bosses or whatever are tied to quest lines that are tied to NPCs, and Dark Souls games have never done a good job at making it particularly straightforward to keep track of NPC quest lines, in that you have no log, you have no nothing. And they can, and throughout their quest lines, they will move randomly amongst the map. Well, random, I mean, you might be able to discern based on what they're saying if they're heading in a certain direction. But generally speaking, you know, the thing that they apparently patched into this game after release was marking on the map where certain NPCs moved after, after they actually moved from their original locations. Because the map was so huge that you couldn't fucking see. You, like, good luck. Like, you have, like, let's say, you know, the White Mask, for example, is one of the first NPCs you run into in the entire game, right? So that's an NPC. That little marker is an NPC marker. So, when you first encounter him, he's here. Basically. Right outside of here. And then at some point in the story, he's here. And without that marker, and depending on what order you did things on the map, you might never fucking run into this cocksucker again. You know, there are NPCs that only show up in areas at certain times, and you could have already cleared that area quite thoroughly, and so you don't think to go back and look. And an NPC is there that's part of a quest line that you didn't run into until later. And so it's imperfect in that regard, and I think if they are going to continue to have games be this open and large, which it's hard to go back once you've gone this far, you've kind of they Pandora's boxed themselves with this fucking release, is they could use some form of tracking. It's not a matter of, like, you know, a Skyrim fucking compass tracker. That's not necessary, but when you have a game with over 150, 200 fucking bosses, and you have a game with, you know, let's say 30 NPCs, half of which have interwoven side quests or part of the main quest, having some in-game method of reminding yourself of the myriad of partially completed things, or the people that you've met or run into and where they were the last time you talked to them and what they last said to you, would be really fucking helpful. Because there have been points in this where, like, I ran into a location and I read a description of there's a plinth in a building, and you click on it and you can see that there's something that's supposed to rest there, and it tells you a little bit about that, and you look at the room, and then I didn't get the item for that until, like, fucking 60 hours later. And it just passed through my mind that the one place that it might make sense to go is there. And, like, the odds that everyone is even going to have the thought to remember an arbitrary room like that is almost zero. Not very many people are going to just have, depending on when you came across that room. Now, if you just came across it, like, 45 minutes previous magically, then, I mean, that's great. Or, if you get that item first and then find the room, then you already have it. But as it stands now, there's just so much variability in how a playthrough can go, especially for a first-time playthrough, that, yeah, it's not a perfect system. It could use some work. Are there times where you feel like you kind of have to look stuff up online, like in the case where you need to find X, Y, Z? Oh, if you're trying, like, if you're really interested, and that's what's probably one of the worst parts about it, if you're really interested in an NPC and you want to complete their thing, and you don't want to miss it, and you don't want to have to play through a 100-hour plus long game twice in order to accomplish it or more, then yes. And I always think that's weak, because as soon as you enter that into the equation, people are going to accidentally spoil themselves with tangentially related stuff, or otherwise trying to find the information they're looking for something as simple as just trying to keep track of quest lines that they've got going in a 100 plus hour fucking game. So that's particularly open world. So I think for sure there are things that I know of that in that way I stopped and thought, you know, maybe I need to look this up. You know, here on the stream we do the hand banana thing. That's the secret word. If I say hand banana and then I ask a question, it's not me asking the question out loud to myself while I'm playing the game. It's me actually asking the chat to give me an answer to something or to give me a hint. I try not to go straight for answers unless it's just something arbitrary like remind me, I know I've been to this place, I just can't remember where it is on the map, tell me where it is again, so I don't stare at the fucking goddamn map for like 45 minutes trying to find the location again. Where I'll ask like some hints and stuff so that I don't have to look it up or whatever and spoil myself. But yeah, it's there's definitely some. I would say that probably one of the biggest weaknesses of this development team is puzzles. They are not good puzzle makers. They are very they very loosely play with the idea of what a puzzle is supposed to be, and not in good ways all the time. A good example of this is what we ran into yesterday, where I was at a tower that had a statue in it and a white marker in front that has a message marker. Oh good, a man bear pig. And that statue and tower and marker were basically identical to one that I had entered in another area of the map fucking 60 hours ago. And I remembered there, I had unlocked an emote, erudite, or erudition, or whatever the fuck it's called. Just remind myself here. Erudition. Where it says that in the message, and I was like, oh, and the statue's holding a certain pose, and so I was like, oh, I'll just mimic it, and it probably does something. And sure as shit, it did. When I did that gesture in front of the statue in that first place, it phased in a ladder behind the statue to let me get up into the tower. Great, awesome, fine. That is straightforward enough. But this next tower that I was at yesterday, which was all like the same setup, same statue, similar tower, the whole 9 yards. Message in front said basically the same shit, erudition, the whole whatever. You hold that pose, it doesn't do anything. And you're like, oh, interesting. Okay, so everything looks the same, but it's different. Something is different here. And so you try to like use the gesture in various places around the room or whatever. And you try some other things to try and come up with a solution, and nothing's working. So what happens is you get diverted from that. You're like, alright, well, clearly it's not using the gesture because I had already done this before and that's all that was required, and this is identical. And, I don't remember what hat I was wearing at the time, but I was not wearing the hat that is required for the one that I was at yesterday. So I discovered, I've eventually thought, and I was like, well, like erudite is, you know, intelligence, knowledge. So I went into my inventory and I looked for items that had erudite or something similar in them, and I knew I had some hats that were all from Rayo Lucaria, which is the College of Magic in the game. And there were a series of helmets slash hats And I knew there was one that represented the highest level at Raya Lucaria. So I put that on, held the gesture in front of the statue, door opens. So, nothing else about that tower or anything pointed towards Raya Lucaria whatsoever. And apparently, according to the chat yesterday, any of the Raya Lucaria hats or helms that you find will work. And not just the one that I chose. But it's very weird in that regard. Like, because it was the same setup as the previous tower. I did not have the Raya Lucaria fucking helmets at that time, and it worked. So, and even if, let's say both towers required a Raya Lucaria helm, that's still really shitty design, because you don't have any way of really drawing a connection between those towers and Raya Lucaria, other than to say this tower has some magic, and Raya Lucaria is the magic fucking college. But, like, there's a million places on this map that are magic specific that would have no tie to Raya Lucaria. So it's just... it's not their best. And then there was another puzzle with an invisible fucking walkway. That was also really fucking terrible. So things like that, I suspect people looked up. Except for the case where they're playing online, because if they're online, there are a lot of messages left by players. Some of them are trolls, of course. But many of them are just outright, bordering on solutions or will point you in the direction of a solution. And so that probably helps too, to a degree. I'm playing offline. I don't have any of those, and that changes the game a bit. And it's hard to say if in their design of some of these areas and puzzles, their assumption is that people are playing online and will have access to those things, and it will be a way of offsetting the obscure nature of their puzzle designs. It's quite possible. But yeah, not their strong suit. Oh boy. If I'm off the horse, that's not good. And if they give me a summon sign, oh no, it's an invasion. Okay. Is this person invading from above and going to jump down on me? This is a large invasion zone. Where are they coming from? There they are. That's a lot of iframes. The sanguine noble hood and robe and waistcloth. I like the look of those. Good focus and vitality, as you might expect. Robe of dyed black cloth featuring gold embroidery worn by the nobles who serve the Lord of Blood. The grand metallic pattern on the shoulder is a signifier of the noble rank they intend to claim upon the advent of the new dynasty they are working to install. Great. Unfortunately, they are now dead. And none of that matters. So, my bad. I would be smart to try and get back to that map marker so that I can at least start tracking where I'm going and not just flying fucking blind. It's a very large open area. It's kind of fucking scary. Oh shit, funeral procession. Oh, for fuck. This is not a place to get invaded. If those wolves attack, I'm in trouble. Yeah, this could be bad just based on the fucking wolves being a part of this fucking conversation. Those iframes. Spicy. A somber dragon smithing stone. Well, now we got one of each. That bitch hit like a truck. Typically, there's a place to touch ass reasonably close to a map location, but it appears not to be the case this time around. There's probably one towards this structure. There's a cave down here. That was close to the ruins. Rip, we were already there. Dude riding a wolf. Those are NPC invasions, not player invasions. Alright, this is super fucking dumb to do. But sometimes you just gotta fucking be dumb. You know what I'm saying, Vern? Oh, you cannot open that one. Okay. Let's play the game of where did they put the fucking place of ass? Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark. I forgot to publish it last night. Not a good sign if Thor is over here. And we're in a summoning zone. Bro. Trying to look at my map. Fuck off. Where are they hiding? A fucking... This guy's fucking persistent. That leash is long. Oh yeah. A summon location. Again. There's the stake. Back up into meme territory, I see. Summoning again. This is another tower. Oh, this is a... Oh, God. Another puzzle to fucking solve or some shit. Pass. For now. Not a big fan of the sounds going on over here that I can only hear in one ear. It's a shockingly large zone with not very many places of grace on average. Oh shit, it's a Bob zone. Bob gonna take us. He's probably gonna take us through a fucking hell pit like usual. Where the fuck did he go already? There he is. Bob, it's hard to see you. Gotta be honest. this is so fucking dumb. I don't have time to fight you guys. I'm trying to follow Bob. Why are you being so fucking rude, man? Pretend that I'm not slapping you right now? There we go. Okay, Bob, where the fuck did you go? No, for fuck's sake. Oh, hell no. Yeah, well, this is gonna be bad. I am not able to fucking even get into a comfortable spot right now. Can't summon here. Oh, that's good. Oh, this is wonderful. Not really interested right now. I gotta be honest there, big guy. Gotta be honest. Not really. Not really interested in fighting you in a blizzard at this exact moment in time. So he's just, like, here. There's just a wolf to kill up there for whatever item he gives, beast blood or whatever the fuck else he's gonna drop. So, pretty useless. There might be a cave up there. Bob sometimes will take you to a cave. That's what I was thinking he might do, but I'm not really... seeing anything. There we go. That's what you want to see. Not even just to do the catacomb, but just to have this. Somewhere else in this entire ass map to teleport to. And it's not even that ideal. Like I didn't see shit all throughout this entire fucking runaround. Did not see a lick of anything. Which, I suppose, is entirely possible, because they might just be treating this one region as a big fuck you in every conceivable way. I'm sure this catacomb, by the way, is a real treat. Given everything here in this zone hits me like an absolute truck. Oh, good, we got these guys in here again, too. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Here I am, just trying not to get frostbite. All right. Oh, for fuck. God, I hate those guys. They're so annoying. Alright. There's our door. Always a good sign when they give you the door that early. /S. I might be able to make this run. Yeah, alright. Oh my Jesus, Lord, have mercy on my soul. They're really going full meme on making this area cancerous, aren't they? Ask me if I'm gonna be petty and just let this fucking tower do most of the work for me. I think these are almost guaranteed to be my least favorite enemies in the entire fucking game. Oh, interesting. Not fast enough. Right through the fucking wall. Incredible. Makes you ponder the reason this room fucking is here, doesn't it? This is where you just hit every fucking wall. Just to make sure. Because otherwise, this is just an empty-ass room. I cannot express to you how much I loathe the fact that they do that shit in this game. They're just like, here's an area where there is actually no method of you knowing ahead of time or being able to stop it. You would just have to actually straight up assume on every fucking corner and walk around the corner with a shield every fucking time. That's it, just... there you go. Oh, that's... These guys hit like a fucking truck. Okay. Oh my god, dude. This whole thing is just a series of gotchas with like... it's just so tiresome. Just room after room of gotcha. Oh great, wasn't ready, and now I got frostbite. Awesome. Oh my fucking god fucking damn you. Elden Ring. Suck a fucking cock. Why are you so tiresome? God, that's fucking annoying. Not only are we gonna put the fucking frost thing here, but then as soon as you walk up, you get an instantaneous, unblockable, never see it coming fucking shot to the face by a blood fucking causing little midget. It's just a series of gotchas in the hopes that we can kill you one time so that the next time you come through you know it's there, but you had to have died at least once to know. Just such shit fucking ways of trying to make something difficult. Absolute trash fucking design to try and make something difficult. It's the equivalent of a jump scare in a horror film. Cheap and only works once. Like, look at this fucking show. Now you got two of these guys in here? Really? Really? Not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Great. Awesome. Lovely. There goes my strategy. Platforming 10 out of 10. Might still be able to make it happen. Yeah, that's right. Keep trying to walk over here. Yeah, that's right. There's one. There's two. I don't know if I can... No. Maybe. No. God almighty. Oh boy, oh boy! Isn't everyone having fun, kids? Alrighty. Yep. We're gonna go up there. Sometimes they let you get away with that, sometimes they don't. There's our lever. Now we can stop caring about the rest of this dungeon. For the most part, we can explore it, but we don't have to care anymore. Really, Mark? There's a lot of them. But, yeah, they're not, they're not persistent. They're usually in specific areas. Excuse me. Oh. Is the item worth it, Adam? It's debatable. Whatever the fuck it is. Nah, fuck it. Gotta check in case. Nope. And we're out of here. Oh, hey. Anytime I can avoid fighting one of those, I am 100% avoiding fighting one of those. No intention of fighting them if I don't have to. Okay, so here's our door. We've got 3 pots, no invincibility potion. And a dream, 1 pot of which is going to go away as soon as we summon. Got him from the fucking back, bro. That's dirty. Rip. Good job, Frank. Fucked him up. 2 great glove warts. Oh, very nice. We're, that's... if I had 2 more summons that I gave a shit about, I could upgrade them to max now. And we get ourselves a cloak. Fancy. Yeah, you start to learn, like, you'll see me meme slap a bunch of balls sometimes, because sometimes they'll just put, like, an arbitrary fucking one in. But you do eventually start to pick up on what is likely to be a place that has an illusory wall and where they're likely to put it. But sometimes you just, if you go into a useless room and you're in a dungeon, and there's a bunch of, like, archway areas and whatnot, you're oftentimes just... It's not gonna hurt to just go hump some walls. Okay, we've officially reached 40 strength. The memes are with us. But another dungeon cleared, very nice. Oh yeah, I want to look at that cape. Or cloak. 76 immunity, so not bad. But it probably looks super dope. Like, Fashion Souls is probably over the moon. Oh, weird. Look at the 6-pack we got going on here. Oh, that's definitely a pimp cape. That goes hard. The Fashion Souls here is like... either completely new pimp cape, or you gotta get on, like... Let's see here. Yeah, you gotta get something else flowy on there. Or you gotta get some very tight pants. Ooh, leg wraps might be kinda neat. Oslo's graves. Aha, yeah. Yeah. Chad Greaves, not Graves. Chad Greaves. I am the knight. So you just go full Haslows. I wonder if I have some gloves that are red. I do have omen killers. Not good enough. Absolutely horrible stats, comparatively speaking. But much lighter. Still a medium load, though. Which is crazy. 36 out of 100. 32 is still medium. 26. So what is our light load threshold? 28. 30 is still medium. 28.4 is light. 28.9 is light. 30. Right on the dot. It's gotta be 30% or something like that. Chad Gria. It's true, it does kinda sound like a frat drink. Oh, what have we slapped on the... A hood with another hood. Terrible. The cape, I feel like the cape should be a helm. So that you get the hood plus the cape as the, you know, and then it goes over top of other shit, but it would probably clip like crazy. All those have the same... That's interesting. Faith, endurance... Oh, I can get myself some more endurance by putting the wolf helm on. Let's see, slightly heavier. The Omen armor. Man, this Onion Boy armor is just straight up baller tier, isn't it? Like, that's wild. The Onion Boy armor is very real. Yeah, the trade-off is it looks garbage. I can't tell you how much I love the Nova Grind era. Well, it won't be like this for very long, so enjoy it while you have it, because I'm eventually gonna have to go back to, having other stuff that I'm doing in my days, but, for now, you can enjoy the memes. What does this end up doing? Adding... Oh, it's like 2 levels worth of stamina, 1 or 2 levels worth of stamina? Yeah, 2. Okay. Yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to start adding some exercise in the early part of the day and studying for programming before I stream in most days. And then, of course, other house-related duties and activities. I would still like to, stream early-ish in the day. Ideally. What kind of programming? Looking to go in the direction of the JavaScript stack. Not big on Python, personally. And not to say that I might in the future, like everyone else, add Python to my list of languages. Grizzlies went for the crown jewels last night. Devin Brook is probably the fucking most big-mouthed mid-basketball player to have ever lived. He's a WWE wannabe superstar masquerading as that guy, which means his trash talk doesn't do anything but maybe annoy some fans, but as far as actually bothering the players that he would hope to bother with his trash talk, nobody cares. Nobody is going to talk about this man when he leaves the league. Nobody's going to remember him. He will be another name lost in a great list of mediocre basketball players that thought they were better than they were. He has the absolute nutsack to talk trash about anyone, let alone LeBron James, who, not even just career stats, if you just look at this season's stats, LeBron is absolutely mangling him in basically every trackable stat. So to talk any smack at all about LeBron is just comedic and will have no effect on anyone. And then he goes out there, for whatever reason, and decides to Johnny Cage LeBron James in the ball. I guess he likes LeBron so much he wants to jerk him off. I don't know what his situation is, but you know, maybe he just wants to grab some nuts. I don't know. Seems like it to me. Anyway, ejecting him was glorious. Was fun to see. And I can't wait for him to be traded for like half of his current value. And then for nobody to ever talk about him ever again. A very large enemy around here that's trying to come for my butthole. I am not prepared for that right now. Oh, multiple... Oh, just stun-locked into instant death. Great. So there is someone summoning that shit nearby. Dylan Brooks says we have Draymond at home. He's the Wish.com Lance Stevenson. I don't even want to compare him to those guys. I just think he's the epitome of what's like everything that's wrong with a lot of young basketball players right now. They got paid money, they're mid, but because they got paid so much money, they think they're God, they enter the league, they do nothing. They spend more time trying to figure out how to get some fucking city name dreadlock woven into their fucking hair than they do actually playing good basketball. Or nobody, you're not a rapper, you're not a high profile basketball player. Just take the chain off that's got DB on it. Like, what are you doing? Spend less time running your mouth and more time running the floor. And maybe somebody will give a shit about you as a player. Maybe. Maybe. It's not a guarantee, but there's a chance. Shannon Sharp moved and said the girl's phone number. Oh my god. Yeah, the classic, hey D-Book, I aim for that birthmark when I finish. How about you? This whole part of the zone is a complete fucking meme. Maybe if I could pick up an item when I walk over top of it and press Y, I wouldn't be in this situation, but here I am. Wow, she just one-shot him into the fucking ground. Bro, chill. Chill. Oh, the Annex Tunnel. The YOLO Annex Tunnel. But yeah, going for like a very obvious straight shot for somebody's fucking dick is so dumb. Like just, you know, get physical if you want to be that guy, but you don't go for a shot to the dick. Alright? Take a body at least. Because then you're putting yourself at risk. Oh, this is a Smithing Stone 8 cave. This is perfect. We needed one of these. Yeah, just like dick shots are so fucking, like nobody respects you for that. You're not putting yourself in harm's way, you're just literally doing cheap shots. And it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, if you put a body to a body, then there's at least some mutual respect for at least being physical. But if you just punched a dude's dick and you weren't in a venue in which him retaliating in any meaningful way would be like, it's basically like you're cornering them. You know LeBron can't do anything. You're just punching him in the dick. You know who else uses or abuses that kind of thing? A lot of women. Poke and prod and slap men and shit, thinking, hey, I can't get hit back. They're not gonna hit me back. You know, he'll get in too much shit. He'll be sent to jail over it. LeBron's case. Fined, suspended during the playoffs, whatever he retaliates. So I'm just gonna punch him in the dick. It's just such a bitch move. Do I still have to put the kettle on? Oh yeah, that's there. It's not an intro, it was just a thing that we used to run when we won, you know, when we won, games and shit. I still have it. Good job. Where did that spawn from? Oh, like the tea thing? Oh, well, it's not really a tea thing. Is it? So, that dude's walked up this ladder twice now. Here comes round 3. It's actually completely nonsensical, really. So, it actually comes from Brian. So, it's, we were doing shitty games done slow. I can't remember what prompted him to say it. We were doing shitty games done slow, and he, something fucking happened, and I think we started saying when it was time to drink or some shit, we were drinking alcohol, Brian was saying, oh yeah, fuck yeah, about time to put the fucking kettle on, and it became about drinking alcohol, I think, at first, but then we just started using it for everything. Shit that made no sense at all, because it was such a dumb thing to say in the first place that really didn't make much sense. So, you know, if we were about to fight somebody in a game, time to put the fucking kettle on. We won something, put the fucking kettle on, celebratory, which is what we stuck with for the stream. Or put the kettle on, time to fucking start drinking some alcohol. And when I asked Brian, I was like, what the fuck is that even? Because at the time when he did it, it just made me laugh so hard because it just made absolutely no sense. And he was like, he didn't have an answer. He was like, it's complete bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we just ran with, the thing that stuck with it was just like, putting the kettle on was celebratory, you know, because it was related to alcohol and shit at the time, and so it was just put the kettle on when we won something. But in reality, it means absolutely fucking nothing. Alright, that's a couple. We need more than that. Feed me more. Okay. Feel like I need one more, ideally. Make sure I'm not missing anything down here. Oh. Wow. Well, there's our character's eyes. Because evidently when you put this on, it takes the eye wrapper that I have on my character off. That's interesting. They still render the whole face? Eyes blinking and everything? That's kind of wild. I'm surprised that they still render that, instead of just cutting the whole fucking head off to save... That's kind of impressive, because, like, they're wearing, like, the cloth headpiece that you would wear while wearing a helmet and everything. Huh. Interesting. Trimmed it to the time to trim and style their eyebrows? No, that's just a genetic gift. You know, every once in a while there's a woman that all the other women hate because they have eyelashes and eyebrows that just, like, automatically do everything that they spend hours and hours trying to achieve. She's the 1%. Alright, we got, I think that's at least 4. Gravity Bros. For whatever reason, I was expecting it to be Mark who came up with it, and I don't even know if Mark is British. Mark is definitely not British. No, the Brits are officially on paper, when we refer to the Brits, it's Shady and Foxy. There are other Brits, you know, in the community that are long-term, you know, like Naily, for example, but yeah, generally speaking, it's just those two that we're referring to. Sneaky. Oh, they're all here. Oh, they fucking just loaded. It's like women getting upset at men because men, like, always tend to have eyelashes that women want. And eyebrows. It's a very interesting thing that, like, despite the fact that for a long time women have wanted eyelashes and eyebrows like men, and you'd think that clearly it can't be a trait in which that's that important to pass on for women for the purposes of getting a mate, because otherwise I would have to imagine at this point it would have precipitated amongst the general populace of women over time. But it is a bit true that for a lot of what women do for themselves, men don't find all that important. As far as the attractiveness factor goes. Alright, so that's now open. Which means our path down here is just a straight shot. More or less. Okay. Okay, well, as long as it's not like the 86th fucking Crystal Bowl. Because really, how many of those do you want to fucking have to fight in a game? It's a big room. I'm sorry, Astal again? Bro, I literally have your fucking tail in my inventory right now. There we go. Finally applied. Just tank it at him. That's gonna hurt. But just tank it. This guy's worse than the first one for getting, trying to find a place to hit him. It's just all fucking AoEs. Everything is just a fucking AoE and you can't hit him. Wow, his hand you can't seem to fucking hit either. Okay. Just fucking tank it for the headshots. Oh, I might die? How the fuck? Oh. Why is that such an enormous AoE? That's just so unnecessary. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Adam. No, you did not. You did not, Astel. You did not. Oh my god. That's fucking awful. Jesus Christ. Wow. That's me just running around the room trying to get one hit on a guy with like the world's worst fucking hitbox. Any singular hit throughout that entire fight and it changes, but instead he's just fucking so hard to hit. That's awful. Classic Dark Souls 1% boss dream. Cool. That's sensible. We got a solid 4 Miyazakis per second. Word? That hit me? Okay. Oh my god, dude. I'm just like trying to figure out how to get to him at 4 frames per second. Without him just infinitely doing huge AoE fucking attacks. Like, look, like, what incentivizes me to go in anywhere near this? Like, he just keeps going backwards and fucking massive AoEs and shit. Oh, that's new. Cool. I'm glad I didn't kill him on the first attempt where he's at 1 fucking HP, and now I've got to go and like do this really long fucking fight over and over and over again that nobody likes because the boss is shite. It's a good use of my time. It's so lazy. Just literally, it's the same boss, the same name. He's already dead. What are we fighting Astel for? Like, what are we doing here? God damn it, Adam. Yeah, good job. Everything is just an absolutely enormous AoE. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Nothing like a more or less insta-kill on something where they've got like 87 of the same enemy that all collapse on you simultaneously from angles that you can't even see off camera. I tried to dodge roll it because I knew it was coming, but I couldn't get the dodge roll off. It just didn't happen. Excuse me. What up, Link? How do they make a big lumbering boss so hard to hit? I don't know. It's like, between the frame rate being dog shit, every attack that he has being almost inescapable AoE if you're within melee range, and just in general making him very difficult to even hit, not in the sense of getting close enough to hit, but literally just hitting. It's just, I don't fucking know. I don't know, but it's bad. Would have been fucking marvelous to just beat him on the first go and not have to worry about this, but now we gotta fucking fight him over and over and over again. What is with that attack suddenly fucking just murking me after I've never been hit by it? Just... zero fucking issues into all of the fucking issues. Did he really just steal that shit and then do no fucking damage? That's the worst timeline. Go fuck yourself, Astel. Just go fuck yourself. Again. By the way. Again, go fuck yourself. Pretty sure I have all of the stones in here. It was pretty thorough. Nice part of speccing max vitality is... Well, you get to a certain point where if you're not maxing vitality, what are you doing? Like, you get to, like, your soft or even, like, middle, between soft and hard caps of your damage stats, and so, like, unless you just plan on generalizing every weapon in the game, vitality and just becomes, and endurance just becomes your target. And even then, like, you get endurance like me, I got endurance early, so I'm just been straight vitality. Unless you're somebody that's just like mainlining the game, which would make this game like far more difficult, I think, on average, if you don't take at least some time to go and do side quests to level up a bit and get access to some items. Like that's a lot of fucking... That's a lot of damage to try to avoid all the time. Like, you just, because the thing to keep in mind is that when you're doing an open world game like this, they have to balance it to keep in mind that people may have done those things, gone off, you know, and done leveling or whatever else. So they gotta balance, how difficult do we make this zone? What are the levels that they are likely to be? What level bands are they likely to be in? And then scale damage, health, and general difficulty with that assumption. Like the original Dark Souls games, or you know, the not open world ones, they don't have to account for that nearly as much. You're like, all right, well, we can soft cap how many souls enemies start to give after a while here based on level and whatnot, and then we can just make sure that, you know, they have to have this done before they get here, and then they can just scale the difficulty so that everyone's difficulty in the original Dark Souls games are relatively similar. You know, the differentiation's not huge, but in this, depending on where you go, when, how much you do, like, all of that factors in, and it can make for wildly different playthroughs. And it makes their scaling of enemies and stuff a different factor. And so I feel like what that ends up doing is that there are some zones with some enemies that they don't even give a lot of runes, but they've made some heavy assumptions. And so I feel like it might limit some play styles because of that, because you're like, okay, well, they could be here at this level with this much, and maybe they're a magic user and that shit hits like a truck, so this guy's gonna have this much fucking health and has to move this much to get out of the way or whatever the fuck else, and then you end up in these awkward situations where some bosses are just inexplicably difficult for the area that they occupy, or just in general, in ways that make you feel like you're being funneled into, you know, you want to almost always use a spirit, or you're just torturing yourself with like 30-minute long fights where you spend 95% dodging their attacks, 5% with a tiny window to attack one time before they jump away or move away from you. And the only other option in the scaling is to try and do something like Oblivion, which we all know how that went. That was broken as shit, where the whole game scales on level, and you had a slider that you could move to, like, alter that in the menu. But when you go that route, you really, really, really have to be careful, because you get into situations like Oblivion had, where certain enemies, with that scaling after the player's been playing for a while, just gets to a point where they're unkillable. They're just literally invincible. I'll be right back. Use the washroom real quick.